Hi guys, here we go again. By the way, I'm John Lawrence Butol from BSED Math 2A. So in this video, you will learn the derivation using different rules in calculus. So first, we have here the chain rule. As you can see, in calculus, the chain rule is a formula that expresses the derivative of the composition of two differentiable functions f and g in terms of the derivatives f and g. We use the chain rule when differentiating a function of a function, like f of g of x in general. So as you can see here in the picture, the chain rule, there are two functions, differentiate function, which is the outer function and the inner function. So if f and g are both differentiable and f of x is the composite function defined by f of x equals f of g of x, then f, bigger f, is differentiable and f prime is given by the product. So here is the formula of the chain rule, using the chain rule. Just pause the video if you want to copy. Then example 1, use the chain rule to differentiate r of z is equal to square root of 5z minus 8. So let's write and take their derivatives. So f of z is equal to square root of z. So f prime of z is equal to 1 over 2 square root of z. Then g of z is equal to 5z minus 8. Then g prime of z is equal to 5. So using now the chain rule, we get r prime of z is equal to f prime is equal to f prime of g of z and g prime of z, and f prime of 5z minus 8 and g prime of z. So f prime equals to 1/2 times 5z minus 8 to the power of negative 1/2 times 5. Then 1 is equal to 1 over 2 square root of 5z minus 8 times 5. And this is what we got using the definition of the derivative. The final answer is 5 over 2 square root of 5z minus 8. So the second rule here is the product rule. So the product rule is a formula used to find the derivatives of products of two or more functions. We use the product rule when differentiating two functions multiplied together, like f of x and g of x in general. So as you can see in the picture, the product rule, if f of x and g of x are both differentiable, then derivative of d of x of f of x and g of x is equal to f of x, d, and derivative of x is g of x plus g of x, derivative of d of x of f of x. So it's equal to f of x and g prime of x plus g of x f prime of x. So here is the formula of the product rule. So just pause the video if you want, then proceed now. So how to use the product rule? So we have here the example. Find f prime of x if f of x is equal to 6x cubed and times 7x fourth. So using the product rule, we get f prime of x is equal to 6x cubed, derivative of dx using the formula from back then 7x to the fourth plus 7x to the fourth, derivative of d of x, and 6x to the third. Then equals to 6x to the power of 3 times 28x to the power of 3 plus 7x to the power of 4 times 18x squared. So the value 6 times 28, then 168x 6, since it is multiplied, so the power must add to the other power, so equals 6 plus 7 times 7x fourth and 18x squared, that's equal to 126x 6. So all in all, what is equal to 294x to the power of 6. That is the product rule. So just kindly pause the video in here for the second example if you want. So the next is the power rule. So using the power rule to differentiate the power function. The definition of power rule is find the derivative of the function. To use power rule, multiply the variable's exponent by its coefficient, then subtract 1 from the exponent. So here is the formula of the power rule. The derivatives of d of x in x to the power of n is equal to n of x to the power of n minus 1. So we have an example, derivative of x squared. So let's use the power rule to find the derivative of x to the power of 2. All we have to do is bring the exponent down in front and then decrease the exponent by 1. So derivative of d of x squared. So the exponent must bring down. So 2x to the power of 2, then subtract it by 1, then 2 minus 1 is equal to 2x1 is equal to 2x, since x times x is x, so 2x equals 2x. So we have the constant rule. The constant rule for differentiating constant functions is called the constant rule. It states that the derivatives of a constant function is 0. That is, since a constant function is a horizontal line, then the slope or the rate of change of a constant function is 0. Now, the constant rule, if f of x equals c, then f prime of z then equals 0. So the constant rule. So let c be a constant if f of x equals c, then f prime of z equals x. Alternatively, we may express this rule as derivative of d of x of c is equal to 0. So applying the constant rule, find the derivatives of f of x equals 8. So solution, this is just one step application of the rule. So f prime of 8 equals 0. Then find the derivative of g of x equals negative 3. So the answer is 0. So now we have the quotient rule. So the quotient and the product rule are similar, but just very similar to the product rule. The numerator of the quotient rule is very similar to the product rule, so be careful to not mix the two up. So the quotient rule. If the two functions f of x and g of x are differentiable, then the quotient is differentiable, and f over g prime is equal to f prime g minus f g prime over g squared. So here is the formula of the quotient rule. You can pause the video if you want. Then let's proceed. So we have here the question. A, w of z is equal to 3z plus 9 over 2 minus z. Then to B, h of x equal to 4 square root of x over x squared minus 2. So solution for the question A. So there isn't a lot to do here other than use the quotient rule. So here is the work for this function. So w prime of z is equal to 3 over 2 minus z. 3 times 2 minus z minus 3z plus 9 times negative 1 over 2 negative z squared. Then the answer is 15 over 2 minus z squared. So for for the letter B question, h of x equal to 4 square root of x over x squared minus 2. So don't forget to convert the square root into a fractional exponent. So h prime of x equal to 4 and 1/2 times 4 times 1/2 x power of negative 1/2, since it is square root. Then x squared minus 2 minus 4x power of 1/2 times 2x over x squared minus 2 power of 2. So it's equal to 2x power of 3/2 minus 4x negative 1/2 minus 8x power of 3/2 over x squared minus 2 power of 2 is equal to negative 6x 3/2 over 3/2 minus 4x negative up to the power of negative 1/2 over x squared minus 2 power of 2. So these are all the basic derivative rules. Just pause the video if you want to copy the formula. So thank you very much. I hope you learned something from it.